but like just a lot of these like surprise. This is your life now has been very stressful. Hello everyone, and welcome to my live stream. I am Alice of KHR Arts, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. You may all be wondering, looking at this, like, what is this? So I wanted to show you, this is a very special piece because it's actually a redraw from a colored pencil drawing that I did way back in high school. So this right here is the original transfer sketch that I did. This was the finished colored pencil drawing, and as you can see, like, the color has started like kind of absorbing into the black paper over the years, so it's not as vibrant as it was when I first drew it. So dun da da da, here is the line art we're gonna be doing tonight. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Wow, my voice is cracking tonight. What is wrong with me? I'm a mess. I'm just a mess. Comment in the chat if you are also a mess. We can commiserate. So did any of y'all watch Fantasia growing up? I had like all of the Disney movies growing up. I would just watch them constantly. I especially watched The Little Mermaid on repeats. But yeah, tell me in the comments like what some of your favorite parts of Fantasia are, and if you have not watched Fantasia, tell me in the comments what your favorite Disney movie is. Maria Latte, Mulan was my fave. Oh my god, I love Mulan. Mulan is definitely one of my favorites. I think that's what really did it for me. That's what started my lifelong love affair with the different Asian cultures. I was just like, wait, this is an option? I love it. She was just so bad and like so in charge of her own destiny, and I loved everything about it. And the fact that like she was a real person is like a million times cooler. I colored that on the wrong layer. Okay, it's okay, it'll be fine. Back when I was in high school, colored pencils were like my jam, and part of that was because my parents did not like messy art tools like paint. So I had to work with art tools that were like more forgiving, I guess. Didn't make a mess, and colored pencils were a really great way to like still make really super colorful art without making a mess. But I really enjoy drawing for y'all, and I've started getting some great commissions lately. Added those to my never-ending to-do list. I'm starting to get a handle on it. It's becoming a little less terrifying, which is very helpful. I crossed a bunch of stuff off my to-do list today. I was very determined to cross a bunch of stuff off my list that are like, you know how you'll get a bunch of those things on your to-do list that are those small piddly things that only take anywhere from like 5 to 20 minutes? It's so easy to let those things pile up on your to-do list because it's so easy to be like, oh, that won't take me very long, I'll just do it later. And then before you know it, you have like 10 of those things on your list and you're like, oh no. So I just went through my list and I was just like, all right, we're gonna roll up our sleeves and we're gonna get rid of all these stupid, piddly, tiny tasks off our list so that they just go away and stop plaguing me. My life has been very much a mess. It's just like a constant parade of mess through the pandemic. It's just kind of like, what flavor of mess is this week? And the reason why I'm not using the select tool right now is because these areas are so small that it would be more effort to select everything than it's worth. Ooh, I want to make the tree that color. I'm gonna put that over here for the tree. So I like that. This is the chaos that reigns in my brain. I love that doing digital art like this makes it so that I can just draw straight lines. Just woo, so crisp, so nice. Much wow. Oh, I just realized the way that connects there, and I should have them coming through like a traditional swing. Okay, we're gonna do that right now. These are the fun details that I realize while I'm doing my drawing. I'm like, wait, something's not right. That's just gonna look weird for a minute. She's still not filled in. We can fill in her torso. We can do that. We can start coloring that. So elegant, so pretty. We gotta get her eyebrows. Oh God, why isn't that filled in? Why are you not filled in? Where are you broken? Oh, that's why, because I'm not selecting the line art. I'm like, what? How is there like no proper shading on that hand? We need to fix that. I don't know what happened there. What is happening? Oh, I just did not draw it like at all. Cool. There. It looks so much better. Yeah, I did a lot of traveling in the States back when I was working as a professional model, freelance. I was not agency signed. Started modeling in 2008. Back then, like, my schedule was just packed, where basically if I wasn't in class and I wasn't doing my homework, I was at a photo shoot or a fashion show. That was like my life. That's like all I did. By the time that I graduated in 2011, it was my full-time job. And I traveled around in my Jeep. Like that's the funny thing, is that a lot of people like thought my life was like that TV show America's Next Top Model, and they're like, "Ooh, did you get like driven around in a tour bus, and did you have a limo, and did you like fly everywhere?" And I'm like, "No." I'm just a regular person. I did not have any of those fancy things. It was just me in my Jeep, taking on the world, a lot of it by myself. And I saw a lot of the States doing that, just like driving to all these different places and shooting with people. And I got to meet like all different kinds of people doing that, which consequently I feel has had a really big impact on my writing. Like, I feel like my writing is so much better since my modeling days, because I met so many different kinds of people and I had so many different kinds of experiences. I think that's really helped me to be able to build like really convincing worlds and have like very different kinds of characters in my stories. Like, they don't all feel like, you know, just the same character dressed up a little bit differently. Like, you can tell like their voices are unique in the story and they have unique agendas, things that they want, the things they enjoy in life. They're all very different from each other. And I did get to go to some like exciting places. Like, I went to, you know, San Francisco and LA and San Diego and New York several times. But honestly, where I made the most money was in like the middle of nowhere towns. Specifically because it's like, you know, the really big exciting cities, they have the most competition. So you're going to already have tons of other people there, you know, trying to do the same thing as me. So there's fewer opportunities to be able to take advantage of that. Whereas, you know, out in the middle of nowhere, it's kind of slim pickings. So it's kind of like, while I'm driving through. So I saw a lot of country roads and little middle of nowhere towns, which is kind of how I got into this whole culture of urban exploration, where you like go to abandoned places in order to take cool photos of it being all like abandoned and rotten and stuff, which is a really fun time. Got to do that with some really cool crews of people, shoot in some really incredible places like OSR and the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. And there were a lot of places that we just kind of stumbled upon where we'd be like driving and then suddenly it's like, whoa, this place is like totally abandoned and like falling apart. Yep, we can color her tail. Yay. Oh wait, no, we're waiting because we have to draw the ropes. Never mind. Purple. I'm gonna make them super purple. I think it'll be a nice contrast with the yellow. And I know this looks really weird, but it's gonna not look weird in a minute. Don't worry. Welcome to what it looks like when I'm sketching stuff. It's just like, blur, what is happening? It's still really close to, yeah, that is still really close and I don't like it. So we're gonna fix that. Does it look like, it looks like a mess. Oh my God, I hate it. Then we can go on our merry way, right? Yes, it looks better. That's actually how Cloud Orchid Publishing came to be, is that me and my best friend, Brian, he is a photographer of graffiti photographic. We would go on tour together to all these amazing places, all these crazy abandoned places, all these really cool events events, and we would take all these really cool artsy pictures for submissions to magazine editorials. And we did that for so long that we were like, we're getting kind of good at this. And we kind of noticed that like some of the magazines that we were submitting to, like we looked at them and we're kind of like, I bet we could do better than that. So we started our own magazine. We started the planning back in 2012, and the first issue was published back in January of 2013. It was a proud time with, you know, all of those times that we went to OSR and Brian helping me to make them come to life. And in fact, the best photo set that I ever did, my crowning jewel creative project, was actually at the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. And we published that into Oni Whispers in the Snuff Box. And I'd say that is like my crowning achievement work for that type of work, those art books, because like it was all me. Like it was all my idea, my styling, my vision, everything. And I just, you know, it came to life with Seth and Ophelia and Brian, and I'm so grateful to them for helping me to make that vision a reality, because I mean that book is just incredible. Just absolutely incredible, and I'm so proud of it. And back when I used to do conventions, I will admit I loved showing it off. Like surprisingly, a lot of times people who would come up to my booth, they would ask me, they'd be like, so, you know, which one is your favorite book? And I'd immediately pick it up and I'd be like, this one. It's super creepy and amazing. Don't you love it? And like people, it was one of those things where people were either like, wow, you're freaking crazy. That is really creepy. I do not enjoy that. Or they would agree and be like, that is the coolest thing I have ever seen. I want to buy it right now. Like that was pretty much like there was no in between. It was pretty much one of those two reactions. Oh, y'all, she is looking glorious. And we are going to get some leaves on this tree that she's swinging on. I do that a little bit later when we're like doing shading and details and stuff. That's a part of that process because it's a little more loosey-goosey. It doesn't have like line art and stuff. So today we're dealing with like line art and color blocking. I think we're going to color the tent next. I think that would be fun. I want to do that. I want it to be pink, as I put in my notes. I do that sometimes. I leave myself little notes so that I remember what I want to do. Yeah, glorious shade of pink. Pink is my favorite color. Yay, that's looking so pretty. Actually, because this is going to be see-through, probably do this. We're just bumbling along as we go, as per usual. That's how I roll. You know what I think we'll do, because I want this detailing to be white. I think we're just going to outline it with the same pink, just for the sake of simplicity. Because I think it'll look weird if I leave it white and don't have any sort of like outline to define it. So that's what we're gonna do. But this piping that I have going around the canopy, we're gonna leave that white. I'm gonna color it in because otherwise it'll take on whatever color the background is, but it will be white. Or maybe I'll have it be yellow. I don't know. Maybe I'll have it be gold. I'll have to decide. We will see. Maybe add some gold detailing on the pink curtains. That would be cute. But yeah, that's why sometimes, y'all, I feel like I've lived like, you know, I've already lived several lifetimes or something like that, because I feel like my life has gone through so many different crazy iterations that it's hard for me to believe sometimes that I'm like, you know, this used to be my life and this used to be my life and now this is my life. And, you know, it's just, it's been such a journey, and it's just been so different. Like I feel like every like 5 years or something like that, my life is just drastically different. It's weird how drastically different that is. And I don't think that's normal. I don't think normal people suddenly their entire life is just like, well, this is my life now. I feel like usually it's a little bit, you know, a little more consistency than that for most people. So I think that's why, you know, things have also been kind of overwhelming for me right now too, is that, you know, someday when the pandemic does come to an end, like I am a little bit apprehensive. Like I'm not going to say scared, because, you know, I've never been like scared of the changes that have happened in my life. You know, so I've been through some pretty scary like life experiences, but I've never been like scared of the different routes that my life has taken. But I'm a little bit apprehensive apprehensive about how my life is going to change and what that's going to look like when the pandemic is over, because I know that like a lot of the work that I've been doing for the past year has been kind of in preparation for whatever that's going to look like, you know, setting myself up the best way possible, but there's no way to know exactly what that's going to look like and what's going to happen and where I'm going to be and what my living situation and all that is going to look like, because it's always, you know, been like that where it can just all of a sudden at the drop of a hat be so drastically different. So probably where, you know, a lot of my anxiety and stress comes from is that like nothing has been certain about my life as of yet. Like my life is a very uncertain, chaotic existence, and I don't like it. I am very much a creature of habit. I like having a schedule. I like knowing what to expect. Like I like having adventures, but they're like planned adventures. Like, you know, when me and Brian would go on those grand caravan adventures to OSR and Tala and stuff, like we planned like those things like a year in advance. Like that stuff was like so planned. Like yeah, there was room for, you know, maybe like a surprise adventure along the way, like that one abandoned house, but like the whole trip itself was planned. But like just a lot of these like surprise, this is your life now, has been very stressful. Do not like it. Do not enjoy that. No, thank you. I am not a spontaneous person. Okay, and this is also part of the canopy line art because the rope is not going to be see-through because it is rope, and that would not make any sense. I mean, I guess you could have like translucent rope, but it would still not be like sheer because it would be so thick. It's rope. Rope is a fun word. I like it. What does rope taste like? Rope. It's a very chewy word. I like chewy words. Rope. Very earthy, chewy flavor, like kind of like bread, but not quite. Like almost like the consistency of really chewy brownies, but like bread. Like that. That's what rope tastes like. The word. Synesthesia moment. You're welcome. I have those sometimes. I suppose like part of the chaos probably comes from my life decisions, in that I have like the past, I want to say like, yeah, like 10 years, honestly. I've really been determined to live my truth, you know, live my life the way that I want to live it, and living as a, you know, creative person. Since then, I have had like corporate jobs and like worked in offices and stuff like that. Even while I was doing that, I was still also on top of that working as a creative person. So like my first corporate office job, I was still like doing modeling stuff, and that's actually when I like very first started to like get into the whole drag world. I didn't start performing yet. I just was starting to get like into the drag world, and I was still, you know, like working on my writing. I hadn't, you know, it was a while after that I finally got published, but I was still working on my writing on a regular basis, and I was still, you know, working on my art and all that stuff. And then when I got my second corporate job, that's when I was officially, you know, performing as a drag artist. And I actually No, I got published after I got laid off from that job. So, but I was still, you know, working on my artwork and working on my writing and all that good stuff at the same time as doing those corporate jobs. So I've just always been used to having to like do the most and do all the work, because, you know, you have to clock in to your 40 hours a week at an office job, and then you come home and, you know, turn on your other thinking cap and start, you know, working as a writer, start working as an artist, or go to a drag show, or, you know, whatever I was doing for that evening. And I was just doing all of it because I was so determined. I was like, you know, I don't care if I do have an office job. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean I have to stop being a creative person. And I still feel like that now, that if I did get like another office job, that's not going to stop me from doing all the creative stuff that I do. I'll definitely have to rearrange my life, but it's not going to stop me. That's just who I am. You know, I can't stop being who I am, because I've said this like even in like official interviews and stuff like that, like the day that I stop being a creative person, the day that I like stop writing and stop drawing and stop being a sparkly weirdo, like that's the day that I'll die. Like that is my raison d'être. It's my reason for living, is being a creative person, and I can't see myself being anything else. And I don't know what my projects are going to look like, you know, a year from now, 5 years from now, I don't know what that's going to look like. But I've learned that I can't plan for that. I can't plan for a year from now, 5 years from now. It's just not reasonable for me to do, and it hasn't been reasonable for me to do it for for a very long time. Like back when I was in high school, I totally had that where I was like, this is my 5 year plan. I know what I'm going to do. This is going to be my life. I'm so certain. I had my plan, and my plan kind of like temporarily went out the window after high school because my plan was I was going to go to a school in California. And that did not happen. I got rejected and it broke my heart, y'all. I cried so hard. I was like, my life is over. My plan is ruined. It was very dramatic because, me dramatic? No. But yeah, so I had to switch gears with that, and then I had to switch gears again when I realized I'm very bad at computer animation, and went to community college and kind of just bobbed around for a while. Like I didn't really have a plan. Right, for like the first year that I was at community college, I was just like adrift basically. I just kind of went into this spiral of chaos of living all of the things that I was not allowed to do when I was in high school, and I just, lived my most rebellious self and just went all of the overboard, just got all of the teenage stupid out of my system because I was like, 19, 20 years old during that time. And I was like, I'm going to stay out late and I'm going to drink and I'm going to just do all the stuff I'm not supposed to do. But even with that, I was still like a good kid. Like I've never done drugs. Like I've never done anything like super illegal or dangerous or anything like that. But I was like, when a good kid is like, I'm gonna be bad, and you're like, wow, that's all you got? That's cute. Like, that was me. I was like, I'm so bad, I'm gonna stay out until 3 a.m. Mwahaha, That was me rebelling, and I was like, I'm going to dress in goth clothes, and no one can stop me. And yeah, I was that kid. It was all of the special. And yeah, I was just chaotic. All of the chaos during that year. But I still got good grades. I got straight A's that year. So I was like, I'm rebellious and still moving forward with my not 5 year plan that's not happening anymore. There we go. This one's not quite all the way there. Yay. Picky little fixing. So I think for the actual folds, we want to have a little bit of a darker pink, but not by like a ton. Oh man, y'all, there is a lot of detail. I love me some detail. The whole reason why these lunatic asylums were so horrible and so scary is because most of the people that got dropped off at these places were not actually crazy. Like a lot of them were women that for whatever reason their husbands were just tired of them, and this is how they would get rid of them. They would just drop them off at a lunatic asylum, and the list, like they showed us this pamphlet that was an official list of reasons why people had been committed to the asylum in the past, and like some of the reasons were just straight up ridiculous. Like one of them was novel reading, so like women reading books. My personal favorite was general quackery. I have no idea what that means, but I thought it was hilarious. I'm sure it's not hilarious, but general quackery was one of the reasons why people got committed to that asylum. Whatever that means. And yeah, there were just a lot of reasons for women getting dropped off there. Like a lot of them, like, basically reading books, being too smart, annoying your husbands, going through menopause. A lot of women got dropped off there because their husband wanted to trade in for a newer model to, have a wife they could have more babies with. Yeah, just awful, terrible reasons why a lot of people got put in there back then. Very few of the people who were admitted to the asylum were actually crazy. But as the saying goes, if you're not crazy when you're checked in, you'll absolutely be crazy by the time you leave. And nobody ever left. It was kind of a one-way thing. You basically got checked in and then you die there. That was the fate of most of the people that were there. It's very sad. They were just, forgotten people that were thrown away. And unfortunately, our current mental health care system is very much lacking. So instead of having all those people, that do need mental help, instead of them being like locked up in a building and experimented on, they're just, wandering around on the streets being homeless, which is really not much better. I mean, at least they're not being, locked up and tortured as a lot of those people were, but you know, it's hardly a step up wandering around being homeless and mentally ill, because that's what happened in, I think it was like the 1960s or the 1970s, when I think it was Reagan who closed all the lunatic asylums in the States. They literally just opened the doors and were like, bye. There was like no transition, nowhere for them to go. They just literally like threw open all the doors and they're like, peace, bye. And that was kind of it. But because, you know, I have mental illness, I'm not like, you know, total bananas bonkers or anything like that, but it's an important topic for me. And I often, you know, as last week, the digital painting we did was about depression. I do try to talk about mental illness and the impact of that and the history of that and stuff like that in a lot of my pieces, whether it's my writing or my artwork, because I think it is an important subject, because I think that it is still very much stigmatized and, you know, something that people still don't really like talking about, and it's certainly still really not properly addressed in a lot of aspects of our society. So, you know, I think it's definitely, I mean, that's what art is. It's, you know, make the comfortable uncomfortable and make the uncomfortable comfortable. It's, we have to talk about these uncomfortable topics in order to make change happen. Well, I have said in the past, I don't like to get super crazy political and, you know, over the top. I have a message with my creative works, but I do like to put stuff like that in my works in subtle ways, or like in the, you know, past drawing we did, make it kind of like the focus. But I try to do it in, I don't know the adjective that I want to use here, but, you know, definitely like a more approachable kind of way. I'm definitely not one of those shock value creative people. I don't really subscribe to that. I think that creates a lot of pushback, and I think that the message can get lost in the shock value, so that's why I don't really care for those kind of works. I also think that that's like, you know, the knee-jerk reaction. It's easy to make something shocking and ridiculous. It's harder to make a message subtle and reasonable and approachable. And I think, you know, you'll win more people with that kind of a message, but I mean, that's just me. If that's your bag, you know, I'm not coming for you. I'm not trying to throw you any shade or anything like that. That's just my personal feelings on that subject. And so good, y'all. I'm so excited. Getting down to the wire. We only have 3 minutes. What can we finish in 3 minutes? Oh my God. I really love drawing and talking with y'all. It's, you know, it's very fun for me because, again, like a lot of the artwork that I do, like I would be doing this anyway. So it's nice to have the company, and I hope that y'all enjoy watching me do this and listening to me ramble about stories and stuff. Look at how beautiful this is looking, y'all. Here, let me turn on all the stuff so we can get the full effect of where we're at. There we go. Everything's turned on. Oh wait, where's my other zebra? Oh, I pushed the wrong button. There we go. We've got all of our components. Looks so beautiful. I'm absolutely loving it so far. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I certainly enjoyed it. I hope all y'all have a really great weekend and stay safe, stay warm, and yeah, thanks for being here. Bye bye.